Hey love, I'm Gina, a fitness, nutrition, and self-love coach, helping high-achieving women heal their relationship with food and their bodies so they can finally feel free, strong, and confident in their own skin. If you've ever felt stuck in the cycle of restriction, binging, and body shame, trust me, you are not alone. On this podcast, we're calling out diet culture BS, building your dream body without the obsession, and getting real about what it actually means to love yourself in a world that constantly tells you not to. I've been there. Anorexia, binge eating, body hate, you name it, I've lived it. And now I help women just like you find food freedom, feel sexy in their skin, and take their damn power back. So get ready, because the Fit Without Obsession podcast starts now. If you feel like you're constantly thinking about food, if you're either restricting or binging, if every single bite comes with a side of guilt, then this episode is truly for you. I'm not here to give you surface level intuitive eating tips. I'm actually here to give you the real raw truth about what it actually takes to heal your relationship with food. And no, it's not just about eating more or deleting MyFitnessPal. This episode, it's the framework I wish that I had when I was deep in my own binge-restrict cycle. The steps that I actually took to change my life, the truth that no amount of clean eating could give me. If you've been waiting for a sign that it's time to let go of the obsession and come home to yourself, this is it. You don't need more discipline. You really need more safety. First, let's call it what it is. If food controls your day, your mood, your joy, your worth, you are not in a healthy relationship with it. You're in a toxic one. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to look extreme to be disordered. Just because you're not starving yourself or purging doesn't mean your relationship with food isn't quietly ruining your life. Obviously, I have had an experience with an actual diagnosable eating disorder, but most of my clients don't have that experience. They just have this toxic relationship with food, because I would honestly go out on a limb to say that most of us out there don't have a perfectly healthy relationship. We all are carrying some baggage with that relationship, right? And we can always continue to heal it. I always speak of our relationship with food falling on a spectrum, right? It's not going to be, okay, it's really fucked up or it's really great and amazing. There are always things that we can work towards getting to a more healed space. Even now, even me being years into recovery with food, I still always push myself to continue on that healing journey. But I do want to go into what a toxic food relationship actually looks like, because again, it's not just an eating disorder. So one thing that you could be struggling with is having morality attached to food choices. So that could be something comes out of your mouth like, I was so bad today because I had those donuts, or, oh my God, I'm disgusting if I eat that pizza. Because really, food itself, there is no good and bad food. So when we make moral judgments around food, we're judging ourselves and we're putting that toxicity out there. You also, if you're stuck in a negative relationship with food, might fear of eating too much or eating the wrong thing. So even if you're eating all your meals, even if you actually even are eating enough in a sense, you have these rules in place that really make you feel restricted still. Even if you're not physically restricting calories, you're feeling restricted with your food intake. You also might have constant mental math and then compensation. So you might eat, like I said, all the things. You might not necessarily be starving yourself, but you try to be perfect about it. And then you also feel like you have to go burn off your calories or make up for it in some way, especially if you eat more than you wanted to. You also might eat in secret or rebel when no one's watching. So you might look forward to, at the end of your day, after eating a salad at lunch in front of your coworkers and kind of skipping snacks throughout the day, you might get excited to go home and just couch rot and sit there with so many yummy, delicious things and just not have anyone have to watch you eat those things. A toxic relationship with food could also include shame spirals after eating something that's off plan. So if you can't go out to eat and eat something that you maybe weren't expecting, or if you can't go on vacation without having every single little thing mapped out, that's not a healthy relationship with food. You also might have food obsession even when you're doing everything right. So even if you're showing up and doing all the things, eating all the quote unquote right things, clean foods, like eating enough, like if you are obsessed about it, if you're thinking about it 24 hours of the day, like food noise and constant food thoughts is not normal. So that is showing that you have a toxic relationship with it. And you're not crazy for feeling obsessed with food. You have just been taught to fear hunger and idolize control. And this really is not like a willpower issue that we're going to go into. It's a learned response to a world that has really taught you like thinness equals safety. So I do want to go into what does not heal your relation with food. Even if it sounds good, even if it sounds like the golden ticket to get you there, you can't logic your way out of a trauma-driven relationship with food. You can't mindset your way through restriction. You actually have to rewrite it. So the first thing I want to bust is like meal plans. You can't heal from control by adding more control. You can't trust your body if you're only listening to the plan. So like sometimes we'll think all I have to do is like, get a meal plan and follow that perfectly, and then I won't have to think about food because it's already written out for me. Like, but then what happens when you fall off your plan, or like it's not doable, or you want to hang out with friends? Like you can't rely on that, right? Like that's not a long-term strategy. Also, tracking macros for awareness is not a great approach either, because awareness is a tool. Like that's fine. Again, I've talked about in other episodes, like tracking can actually be a positive thing when used correctly. But if it becomes like your emotional crutch, that's not actually awareness. That's anxiety with you just like mapping out these numbers in your head. So again, awareness is one thing, but sometimes when we track, we can get emotionally tied up in it. So that is a lot different than awareness. Also, intuitive eating without regulation work is another thing that's not going to actually heal your relationship with food. You can't ask someone who's been ignoring hunger cues for 10 years to just eat when you're hungry. Like, that's not possible. That's why intuitive eating is not always the thing that we can jump into straight away. Even when we want to heal our relationship with food, there's stepping stones before we get there, because you really have to rebuild your capacity to feel safe with hunger again before you can really rely on it. Like for me, I am at a place where I can intuitively eat now, but like even when I would say like I was pretty healed and I was feeling better about food and in a better space, I wasn't fully back to getting natural hunger cues. So like I did have to almost like, in a sense, hold myself to like a food schedule, just because I knew that like I naturally wasn't going to know when to like reach for something, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't neglecting my body and I was giving it what it needs. You cannot think your way into food freedom. You have to feel your way there. And that starts with one bite at a time. And I now want to go into my exact framework to start healing. So again, we talked about kind of what's not going to work for you, but this is going to be what works for you. And this isn't hypothetical. These are exact steps that I teach my clients. These are the shifts that actually work. And I'm going to walk you through each one. And the first thing that we need to do is build safety around food first. Because you can't heal something that you still believe is dangerous. If you still believe carbs are the enemy, if you're still stuck being scared of fullness, or if you're still skipping breakfast to be good, then your body is stuck in a fear loop. So we need to start making practical shifts to build this safety around food. And the first thing, I'm laughing again because it's like a reoccurring theme that I brought up, is like normalize eating enough. And I mean like, yes, like eat more than 1,400 calories a day. Like even if you think like if you've been eating, I don't know, let's say you eat 800 calories a day. You're like severely restricting, and maybe you're not. Maybe like you're even listening to this episode. This still is going to speak to you, because you might think like, oh, well, if I'm eating 800 calories a day, like 1,200 calories is so much more, and that's going to be great, and like my body's going to be so happy. Guess what? 1,200 calories is enough for like a toddler. That is not enough for you and a grown ass body. So we need to normalize that eating enough is actually a good thing. I think we almost like, in a sense, when we have a toxic relationship with food, like celebrate like when we go to bed not overeating, or when we actually eat under the calories we wanted to. We're like, wow, I was so good today. No, we need to like actually be like, wow, I was so good today by eating more than you wanted to. You also need to start eating consistently. And this means like at least 3 meals and snacks. Yes, even if you're not hungry yet. Again, I had to relearn my relationship with food, and what I help my clients with. It's like, we need to get your body in a rhythm to trust you, to get those hunger cues back. So you do need to eat, even if you're not hungry. Your body literally has been trained to suppress hunger because you have not been giving it the food that it deserves. So of course it's going to take a little bit of time to regain it. You also need to start exposing yourself to fear foods, but in neutral environments. So you don't want to do like everything all at once. Like you don't want to like do the scariest thing by like maybe you're terrified to go out to eat. Like you go out to eat and then you're also terrified of pasta and then you're also terrified of eating in front of people and like all like you don't want to like over push yourself because then you are going to retreat back in fear. So again, expose yourself to some of these fear foods in a place that you're going to feel safe with it. So for example, maybe pizza is a fear food for you. So maybe you don't order pizza right off the bat, like, and try to like eat the whole thing. Maybe you actually just make homemade pizza and like, you know, use kind of ingredients that make you feel good, but also like it pushes you out of your comfort zone, right? And then the more that we push that, then you can order the pizza. Then you can get the pizza out, right? Like we need to start by stacking those things and not making it so hard all at once. And another shift that you need to make is also to stop negotiating or earning your food. And what I mean by that is like, I want you to eat no matter what. Like you should not only eat on workout days and like fuel yourself properly with workout days. And then as soon as it's a rest day, we eat less because we think we're not doing as much. That's going to keep your body stuck. Even if you start to fuel yourself properly most of the week, if it knows that on rest days, you are not going to take care of it, it is going to fight back. You don't need to wait until your body is falling apart to feed it. Nourishment is not a reward, it's your right. And every time you eat without punishment, you're actually telling your body you're safe now. That's where the healing begins. So the second part of healing our relationship with food within this framework that I teach is we need to dismantle the food morality we spoke about. So this starts with the fact that we need to stop calling food good or bad. It's not morality, it's nourishment, it's energy, it's connection, it's pleasure, it's all of these things, but it's not good or bad. So we need to start replacing judgment with curiosity. Replace the labels that you're giving food with experience. So a cookie is not bad, it's actually sweet, chewy, comforting, it's nostalgic. And a salad is not inherently good, it's crunchy, it's fresh, it's energizing. Food is not like some sort of behavior report. So one thing that we could start doing to get you in a place where you start to neutralize food is practice saying this is just food. Like anytime you feel your mind wandering or like trying to figure out if like a food is good or bad or like how you're feeling about it, like just literally say this is just food. Like remind yourself of that. Like it's just food. Actually, like on paper, if you look at food and you look at like what's it composed of, right? Like candy bars are gonna like have glucose, right? Like that's how your body digests it. Same thing with fruit. It's gonna have glucose. Now I'm not gonna go out and say like, okay, let's just only eat candy bars and no fruit. Like obviously there's other nutrients that come with fruit and we need the nutrients, but the candy bar could also be like a really great thing for you. It might actually boost your energy in a time where you're like having a slump and you really need it. And it actually like helps boost your mood to help you push through this project, whatever it is. Like there's always like positives to any type of food. So again, practice saying this is just food. And also you could start journaling on what you believe about certain foods and ask like, where did I learn this? And start to dismantle that, because when we can get back to the root of maybe why you have this thought, that's when we can actually start to unravel it, because you know that you can unwrite it for yourself, unwrite that rule. The moment that you drop morality is the moment you actually stop binging on rebellion. And then the third part of this healing framework is I want you to rewire the guilt loop. Guilt is not a sign that you did something wrong. It's a sign that you broke a rule you were never meant to follow. So let's go through an in the moment kind of reframe and what you're going to do in the moment whenever you do feel this guilt come up. So the first thing you want to do is you need to notice the guilt. I mean, you should be aware of it, right? Because if we try to push it off, like that's almost going to make it worse. So like be aware of the guilt. Don't fight it. But before we move forward, ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I don't feel guilty right now? And really like ponder that. Like actually take that moment of pause and then replace with the truth of your body knows how to handle this. Like in that moment, you are not unsafe and you don't need to punish yourself. You need to tell yourself, I am safe to eat this. Nothing bad is happening. I don't need to fix this. I just need to feel it. Most of our food guilt isn't actually about the food. It's about the rules the diet culture gave you and that you've been too afraid to break. Your nervous system has been conditioned to associate food with shame. So your job right now is to unlearn that story. And you're going to have to do that over and over again. That's okay. The more that we push it, the more that we unlearn this, the easier it becomes over time. And then the next part of this framework, the fourth part, is we need to repair the binge restrict cycle at the root. And notice I say at the root. I don't mean like stop binging. Like that's not what I'm telling you here. You don't binge because you're addicted to food. You binge because your body does not feel safe to trust you. So restriction is the trigger to this. Hunger is the cue, and binging is your body's last-ditch effort to literally survive within this cycle. So you can't expect your body to whisper to you when you've been ignoring it for years. Sometimes it like has to scream, and that's why like you literally end up, face first in like a tub of ice cream. So the real life changes we need to make to really help heal at the root here is we need to ditch the Last Supper thinking. So I think like one thing that we do a lot of the times is the reason we binge is we eat clean all day or all week or whatever it is. And then we go, okay, I'm going to let myself have this cookie. And then we have the cookie and then we're like, oh my God, I'm so fucking disgusting. Why did I have that cookie? I'm never going to have cookies again. And then it goes into, okay, well, this is the last time I'm going to have cookies. So I'm going to eat all the cookies right now. And then I'm never, ever, ever going to have them again. And then guess what? Next week you have another cookie, right? We know how this goes. That's why, like, I hate the thought of, like, starting over Monday or starting over tomorrow. Like, that starting over, that allows us to think that, like, we can almost erase what happened or we can start fresh. When we actually can't because we're human beings and, like, all of our experiences compile. So, like, you just need to think of your life and your relationship with food as a continuation. Yeah, maybe it sucks if you binge and you have a rough night. Like, no one wants to fucking do that. But, like, at the same point, every journey is going to have ups and downs. So, like, once we accept that, once we start to, like, give ourselves kindness around that, it gets a lot easier. Also, a way to help with this is not to delay meals. So give yourself unconditional permission to eat now. I think so many people, and I know I felt this way. I know a lot of my clients like coming to me in the beginning feel this way of like, okay, I'm going to just like push food as far as I can and I'm going to save up my calories. And that way, like, I'm not going to overeat later. Like, we all know the end of the story. We all know that that's going to make you overeat. And I know that you're afraid of like, okay, well, what if I eat earlier and then I still overeat? Okay, what if? Maybe your body actually gets enough food. Like, I actually have a client right now that, she just recently started with me. We've been working on having her eat earlier in the day and increase her food intake, and she's been doing a freaking phenomenal job. I know that it's hard, and she's been pushing through that. She used to not eat anything until like 8 p.m. and then just eat a ton of stuff, right? So she's still having moments where she actually needs snacks at night. And she's like, well, why? I thought if I ate more throughout the day, like, I wouldn't eat the snacks. And I'm like, actually, your body needs to eat more in general. This is actually a good thing. Now you're finally fueling yourself, because before, even with you pushing your food off to the end of the day and eating so much in one moment, your body wasn't getting enough food for its full day of needs. So another thing that we can start to do to help work around this root of the binge cycle is reintroduce carbs, fats, and fun foods on purpose. So if you've been restricting whatever it is, maybe you're restricting a whole food group, maybe you're just restricting sugar or soda, or like whatever it is that like has this like hold on you, you need to start reintroducing those things on purpose. Because as soon as we actually give ourselves permission to have things, like again, I brought up the cookie before, like if you give yourself permission, guess what? The first few times you eat that cookie, you might spiral, you might binge, you might want to eat a bunch, but the more that you condition yourself to be like, hey, like actually I'm allowed to still have this tomorrow, or hey, I'm allowed to have this on a random Tuesday night, like the less power it's going to hold over you, and the less like kind of like shiny object like it's going to have around it. Like you're going to just be like, okay, this is a cookie, it's good, it's like I can have it some days, I don't need it other days. And also the last thing that we need to do, again, we talked about not delaying meals, but just in general, don't wait till you're starving. So like, again, we might have like certain times a day that you're trying to stick to. We need to kind of get rid of that thought process, because if your body is starving, if you're like a 10 out of 10 on hunger, you waited way too long. Because really, if we're like talking about the hunger scale, you should be kind of probably looking for something like around like hunger level of like a 6 or a 7. Because what happens is if we wait till we're starving, even if we eat like maybe like quote unquote like a good portion for ourselves, like that doesn't actually fill us up, because we're almost like trying to fill like extra void that we've been giving our body all day. So we do need to start eating earlier. And the next part of this framework of getting to a great relationship with food is we need to learn to eat for satisfaction and not just physical fullness. You can be full and still feel deprived. If your meals are technically clean, but leave you digging through the pantry 20 minutes later, you're not broken. You're just unsatisfied. Satisfaction is the secret sauce here. It's actually what's going to help you end the obsession. So some ways to shift this and shift how you're eating is actually add flavor and texture to your meals. So not just volume. So if you're eating like a bunch of, vegetables, you put like broccoli and Brussels sprouts, and you're having like rice, and then you have chicken, but like you don't season it, and you don't add any sauce, and you don't add anything like fun or crunchy, like it's just not going to be as satisfying. So maybe even on paper, again, it's like the right calories, the right macros, whatever. Like you're not going to actually enjoy it. And you also need to start eating what you actually want, not just what you think you should. So if you want a burger and then you eat an apple, do you think that's going to keep you from wanting the burger? No, like that drive is going to only get stronger. You also need to start allowing pleasure. And really, this is where the trust is built. Because when we allow that pleasure, we can understand that, like, wait, I'm allowed to enjoy this. I'm allowed to have this. I'm allowed to feel good about food. I'm allowed to have a good relationship with it. And then the next part of this, the last shift of this framework, is stop making your body the problem. Your body is not the problem. Your expectations are. Your fear is. Your self-worth being tied to your size is. So you will never feel free with food if you're still trying to micromanage your reflection. The longer that you chase thinness, the longer that you strive for being the smallest version of yourself, the longer that you're going to be stuck in this toxic cycle. Because you cannot heal if your goal is to like shrink and like that's all you care about. Like that is not in alignment to healing. Body image issues really drive 90% of food anxiety. And if you're only trying to heal so that you can control your weight again, it's not going to actually stick, because that's healing for a reason that isn't going to drive sustainable healing. You have to be willing to grieve the fantasy of thinness and chase freedom instead. And that's not saying that you're not going to have a stable body weight, or maybe you might even lose weight by healing your relationship with food. We just don't want that to be the reason that you're doing this, right? Like you need to be chasing safety and freedom, and then your body's going to actually reflect that, and it's going to feel strong. It's going to be powerful. You're probably going to have the most confidence once you can finally let go of this fantasy of thinness. Healing is not about never wanting to look good. Like, let me get that clear. It's just about not hating yourself when you don't look good. Healing your relationship with food is not sexy. It's not some sort of 30-day reset. It's showing up again and again and choosing trust over control, choosing presence over punishment, and really choosing compassion over chaos. But I promise you this, it's worth it. It's literally worth it. I think it's, for me, the hardest fucking thing I've ever done, but the most incredible, amazing journey, and it's opened so many doors for me. It's really helped me connect to who I am at the core. When you do go to this healed place, food becomes simple again. Your brain starts to quiet down, your body starts to feel like home, and life finally opens up for you. Food freedom isn't just about what you eat. It's about who you become in the process. You weren't born obsessed with food. You were conditioned to believe it had power over you. And when we go on to this healing journey, it's really about reclaiming that power and never giving it away again. We're going to be healed for life. That's what I want for you. And if this episode cracks something open for you, if you're ready to actually heal this once and for all, I want to personally invite you to Fed Up to Free. It's my signature 12-week group coaching program where I guide you step by step through this exact process. And we kick off September 15th. I created this for the woman who is done with starting over and done with obsessing and really just finally ready to live. You'll get the tools, the community, and the accountability, and most of all, the freedom. You're going to get food freedom, body freedom, life freedom. So go ahead, down in the show notes, visit the link, connect with me there. And if you want even more support, I do have openings too for my one-on-one coaching program, Fit Without Obsession. If you're looking to go on this healing journey while also building your dream physique and getting strong in the gym at the same time. But I appreciate you all for listening. I know that these shifts are hard. I know this framework is scary at first, but I promise you, each and every one of you listening to this can do it. It's worth it, and it works. Thank you so much for tuning into the Fit Without Obsession podcast. If this episode helped you heal, grow, or just feel a little less alone, go ahead and hit the follow button so that you never miss a moment of this journey. And if you loved it, share it on your stories and tag me at @thefitbean_. I seriously love seeing what resonates. Sharing this podcast helps more women step out of a session and into their power. And that ripple effect starts with you. And if you're ready for deeper support, check the show notes for ways that we can work together. Just remember, eat the pasta, wear the shorts, and love the hell out of your life. You deserve it always. Talk soon.